Good morning, Starseeds. Everyone is feeling really awesome. I feel like there's a lot of really intense energy out there. It's been pretty crazy. I figured out what was going on with my computer and why it wouldn't let me record. It had reached complete mass capacity and it was just wouldn't let me record. It was shutting things off. I was having some issues. And so this morning I woke up and I wanted to record more videos and share with everyone. So I went out and bought an external hard drive. Oh, wait, it's like a perfect reflection of as I expand, my physical spaces need to expand. Like, I feel like with that very first video when it cut off, that was like the point. It's like, oh, we've saved enough. Now you need to expand out more. And as we expand into like that reflects in the physical realm. I think it's really awesome. I love situations that manifest in people's life that are physical situations, but they're perfect reflections of everything that's going on symbolically and spiritually and the deeper levels, because that's the way reality works. It reflects through the dimension. So even though it's like you're experiencing something on a spiritual dimension, like expanding, feeling limited and having to expand beyond that limitation, that's reflects into what I've experienced with my computer and so many other things that can happen with people. So before I went and bought that hard drive, I had to go pay these 2 parking tickets, and I have had the worst experiences with parking tickets. It just has been such a struggle for me, being on top of these physical demands like, oh, the society says you need to go and pay this by a certain time. I've in the past been really bad, and I like to frame it like that. I have in the past been bad, but now I'm making room for change. And I think that's important to not limit ourselves with our words like, oh, I'm always bad with this. No, I was bad at that, and now I'm moving in. So I feel like this was a really big moment for me, going in on time and paying these 2 parking tickets I got back to back. Like, it was months I went without a parking ticket after I've paid literally hundreds of dollars to the city of Kalamazoo for parking tickets. And I had to go back again because the first time I went in, they like, oh, our credit card machine's not working, and I didn't have enough cash, so I had to leave and then come back. It was like the universe saying, no, we want to make sure you learn this lesson. We want to make sure that this is important to you and you're moving into the step of change. I had to say, yes, I'm changing. Yes, I'm changing over and over and over again to get to this point. And in the past, I've always had the worst experiences at the office. I go in and I'm frustrated and like filled in the state of stress and frustration and kind of hatred. It's really like a state of hate and fear, and then I just see them as the worst people ever, and I'm just like, oh, I hate that office, and like, how could people work there? But today I went and paid my tickets, and the girl who was ringing me up, she was very sweet. She did have a lot of compassion. I feel like it's good that she can still, or she holds that space of compassion in that office, because so much bad energy comes in and out of that office because of the very structure, the very nature of the Central City parking and giving people tickets and making them pay a bunch of money because of these ridiculous parking rules. And I said to her, oh, I really like your shirt. That's a really beautiful color on you. And she was kind of like insecure about it, like, that's what she always says, but it's like she didn't believe it. And so then we talked about the bright color of coral and how it's very eye-catching. And I saw once I complimented her and we had this human connection, she really opened up and then like showed her human self. And I loved that so much, and we had this connection, and And I was like, oh yeah, I just brought this dress that was this bright coral color. I can see it sitting over there. And I got so many compliments on wearing that color. I just wanted to pass that on because it really does look beautiful. And she like just like was so happy, and it was such a great exchange, and I felt good. I was like paying these tickets on time. I didn't have to worry myself or stress myself or upset myself, and I saw that those people are great people. They really are, and it's unfortunate that we in our minds see these situations as terrible manifestations, like, oh, like we demonize things, like, oh, that part of society, it's so evil, and then we like put all that negative energy into it, when really it's just an illusion, and it's all about how we work with it and how we respond to it, and that really is our choice. And so that was one lesson I definitely saw today, and it made me very happy that I could leave that office with such a great experience. And that was one thing I wanted to talk about in general. Like, so we all think a lot about light working, or what I call star seeding, like seeding ideas, which is like little interactions and planting the seeds to what can grow to become a flourishing state. So that's kind of abstract, but in terms of like the little interactions that we have every day, I think complimenting is such an easy and simple way to really bring the love out in people, because I know when I'm in a state of love, it's like love is everywhere, and I love everything. When I see people, I love them. But it's kind of status, it's like kind of weird to be like, oh, I love you, to someone you don't even know. They're like, what are you talking about? They don't understand that. But that's why I really, really love to compliment people on anything. Like their hair, their smile, their like whatever they have on them. It's easiest to, like, if you tap into like the surface level, like, hey, like I like what I see here. This like makes me feel really good, and then they feel really good, and you can share this like love and compassion together, which is the simplest words, like, oh, I really like your shirt, that's awesome. I love when I'm at work, I do that to people all the time, like, just, it's like a way of acknowledging them, like, I see you and I really think that you're a beautiful person, and I can see that from just a little bit, and people, they respond to that, and it really makes interactions really beautiful. And then the other thing I wanted to share with everyone was our experiences last night. Brendan just came in to my room before I started this video talking about like last night, and he said it was so beautiful how everyone really embraced this resonant heart space, like they were really living in their resonant heart space, and how beautiful that was. And I think that's so beautiful. The experience that we had, I got there and it was so beautiful. Ashton is DJing up on stage at this club in Kalamazoo called Papa Pete's, and then CeeLo and Bubba were up on the stage meditating. Like, there's Ashton and the two guys sitting on the stage facing everyone meditating. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Like, I love those guys. It's so nice to see them and doing that and really bringing that. And I was like, oh, I want to meditate. I feel like I'd be better off meditating than just sitting here. Sometimes in social interactions, I get really like quiet, and I'm just like, okay, I'm here. This is what I do. I'm like really still. Like, I don't feel like I need to do something to occupy my time, but then I feel like other people think I should. So anyways, Brendan gets up and he's like, hey, do you want to switch spots with me? And at first I was kind of unsure. I was like, oh, I don't want to just meditate just for show. It like, that was like a really poor intention in my mind. Like, oh, I just want to meditate to people, like, oh, see, I meditate. like that didn't seem right. But then when Brendan explained their intention, it was just completely changed my perception of how I felt about me going up there. He's like, our intention was just to like hold this space, you know, like open people up to like the energy. And I was like, yeah, like I thought about it and I was like, that makes sense and that feels right. So at first I was like, no, that doesn't feel right for me. And then we had this exchange where we talked about intention. What is the intention of doing this? And I was like, yeah, it did feel right. And so I went up there on stage and I meditated with CeeLo. And the whole time we stayed up there and it was the most beautiful experience. Like to feel the vibrations and be in a complete state of feeling and being, and just like the ecstasy and the joy was like building up, and it like got to a point where I was smiling. I just wanted to laugh the whole time. And I felt like we were really anchoring this energy. And then Ashton's music is really high conscious. And so like the one part, it was like talking about like being the fifth dimension and like bringing it, like you're there, like we're here at the fifth dimension. And other people, like, you know, they can fall back to the third dimension and go back and forth. But, you know, it's about, I was just like, it felt so good. And then when the experience was over, I was so happy that I had the opportunity to have that experience. And I'm like, that would be great going to more places more consistently and just seeing people having that experience while meditating and feeling really comfortable to bring that experience in terms of meditating when you're just still, with your eyes closed. And then sometimes I would like peek my eyes open just a little bit, and there were these LED hula hoopers that they were doing isolations right around us. Me and CeeLo meditating. It was like highlighting it, and like they said that they were like making our auras glow with their LED hoops, and I was just like, I would like peek my eyes open a little bit, and it was just like a little infant, like seeing all these lights and like, whoa, oh my gosh, this is so great. Like that really innocent state of joy. And like, I normally don't feel a need to express what I experience in meditation because I feel like what we experience in meditation is really personal. And that's in a way how it's meant to be. It's not about like, oh my god, this was everything I experienced. But I just wanted to share a little bit about that because it was so great. It blew me away and it made me really happy waking up this morning, being in a pure state, and having that great experience. And I just want to share that with all of you because it was really meaningful to me, and maybe you or anyone can learn just a little bits and pieces from what I experience, because that's what we do. We learn through each other's experience. So I feel like that was all I really wanted to express. Now I'll have just a moment to share with you all. Peace, Shanti, Amen, Namaste. I love you.